I'm going to tell you now something of my actions and thoughts as I participated in the world's greatest military assault ever in history, D-Day, June the 6th, 1944. I'll start with the wake-up, which I believe to be about 0130 hours, and news that this was the day, the hour we had been waiting for, we had been working for. Weeks before, we had been bombing bridges and rail yards, cutting off all travel to the coast that we could. Keeping track of the time on our watches, we began to get everything set. Boy, it's dark and rainy. We are not accustomed to this at all. We've done only daylight missions. Time to fire the engines. Clear on the right engine, the big Pratt Whitney 2800 sputters and coughs and belches out smoke with fire from the exhaust. But she's running. And the left follows. The taxi out for the 36 ships was maddening. Who to follow and when to follow. The takeoff would be just as bad. One taking off halfway down on the right side, another opens up the throttle as the first plane reaches the halfway mark, and he runs down the left side. All of a sudden, a ball of fire off the end of the runway. Must change the runway for better wind. Is the load too heavy to get off? We don't know. The brightness of the sky lights up. More confusion. We were too scared to be frightened, really, by this time. We have to have a climb pattern. No time for practice. Got to be perfect this time. Throttles wide open and off we go, and into zero visibility and onto the instruments. All planes in the area will use landing lights while climbing, hoping it would help pilots avoid each other. But lights flashing everywhere was weird and confusing and making it very difficult to fly the airplane. Cold sweat really breaking out on me now. We climbed, seems like forever, trying to stay in the rendezvous area. The engines sound good, thank goodness. This is bad enough with everything going well. Even though I had over 50 missions by this time and combat a year by now, my hands were moist in the palms and I felt drained of energy. How are we going to see a target in this stuff? Light above, now, and breaking out, over the overcast, running through a few top clouds. We're at 8,000 feet. How sweet it is. Looking all around in the sky, where's the rest of the group? We take up course when we see a B-26 group ahead. No way to catch them, I thought, but we did. And the plane's tails told us it was not our group. Our plane sported a series of orange and black slanting stripes at the top of the vertical stabilizer. We were known as the Tiger Stripe Group. Nothing to do but pull in with them and continue on. Crossing the south coast, we began descending in order to get in under the clouds and sight over our course and target when the time came. The sky was full of airplanes, and below the water covered with streams of surface vessels. Closing in on the French coast, we could see battleships belching fire from their shelling of the shore. Down on the water below, we saw landing craft leaving streaks of white churned water behind. Down at this altitude, the assault force was in full view. Kept expecting to see German fighters as we neared the coast, but so far so good. We had heard all along we had mostly destroyed their air power. We believe we were right. Steady now as we approach the target. The bomb bay doors are opening. Bombs away. Head, the bombardier says we believe we have a hit. Light flak coming up and getting more intense. Out over the French countryside, scattered everywhere, were parachutes and patches of huge crash gliders. I don't believe I saw an undamaged one in the lot. We had a sickening feeling that things were not going well, and it's just started. We made a sweeping turn back toward the coast, formation and tightening, pulling back together, and could see then aircraft everywhere and landing craft approaching the coast. Weather had improved some, but the sea looked terribly rough. We flew back over the sea full of vessels of all types, making our landfall over the chalk white cliffs at Beachy Head. This is a prominent point on England's south coast, perfect for a landfall.